Hey fellow YouTubers, this is Al from Buggy BroZ. Today we're going to go over the radiator relocation that I did on my 2016 YXZ1000. As you can see, we've got a lot of snow out here, so that doesn't do really well when it melts. It causes a lot of mud on the trails. One of the biggest issues with our machine is the fact that it overheats. The tires just kick up a bunch of mud into the radiator. You can clean the front really well, but you can't clean the back. So that's why I did this mod. Radiator's right here on the front passenger side of the car. I know it's kind of hard to see, it's dark. But it's right there, and there's nothing protecting it. So I could have bought guards that went over it, but I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't think it was 100% fixed. So for me, my option was to put the radiator in the back of the car. There's a couple kits that put the radiator in the back of the car. There's the Hess kit, the Weller kit. I think the Weller kit's like 89 bucks, and the Hess kit is $1,000. It comes with everything. The Weller kit is just a mounting bracket for your stock radiator to be mounted back here. Now the Weller mounts to these 4 bolt holes here, and it takes up the entire bed, and I didn't want to do that because I do carry tools. So I opted to do this. I'm into it for just under 200 bucks, so it's a win for me. I didn't spend $1,000 and have the same outcome. So not knocking it, it's a great kit. So this is just the option I went with. Now this is a Jeep Cherokee radiator I purchased off eBay. I believe it was 130 bucks with the two 10-inch fans. I soldered the wires together here, drilled the hole through the bed, ran it along the frame rail here, through the back of the car where I ran my Razorback gauge, removed my seats. This pops out. There's a push pin here, two push pins here, 10 millimeter there, 10 millimeter there, and that push pin. And then this side panel comes off. I ran the wiring with the factory wiring through the trans tunnel, and then I removed this plastic guarding here, and the nose could be removed for easier access, but my hands aren't super big, so I didn't mind, the tight space. I cut the factory plug off of the cooling fan, soldered the wires together with the wires that I ran. So now it's a plug-and-play harness, so it kicks on just like it would with the factory temps. Now to talk about what else was entailed for cooling lines. I ran 1-inch heater hose. I drilled 2 holes, one here for upper and one there for lower with a hole saw. I ran my heater hose down this frame rail here and behind it to keep it away from the exhaust. I left the factory cooling lines off of the thermostat housing and the water pump outlet, just for if anything happens on the trail, I can still hook up the factory locations. One's here, one's there. I could still hook that up and still be good to go. Just got to add some cooling. There's an adapter here with a couple clamps, adapter there with a couple clamps, both into the factory cooling lines, like I said before. And then for the 90s, there and there, did the same thing. I purchased a cooling hose, lower radiator hose off of a 94 to 2001 Integra. It had 2 90s. I looked it up online. The coolant hose specs match the diameter for the upper and lower spouts off the radiator. So that's what I did, and it fits perfect. There are 90 degrees that you can buy off eBay. I just opted to do that just because I forgot to order them, and it was a quick solution. So I might change it in the near future. We'll see. But I went out last weekend and did a nice, really hard ride, and I had 0 leaks. Temps never got crazy hot, so I'm 100% happy with this. A couple of my other buddies, we're gonna go over to Keith's, and we're going to check out and do a walkthrough on his option. So stay tuned for that, and we're going to snap And
what up, guys?
We'll be at Keith's.
From Buggy BroZ. Today, I'm working on my YXZ 1000R here. We have a fan upgrade that we're going to do. But if you looked on the thing, which we haven't posted it yet, but me and Al did the rad delete, I guess you want to call it? Relocation. So his is totally different on his, and I didn't want to go that route. So all I'm doing is an upgraded fan. I got it from off of eBay. It's called Spall. It's about 150, 160 bucks. So what we're going to do right now is pull the fan out, and you see if you can't, it's like half sitting there because we basically took it already apart and we just did a mock-up. So we'll show you real quick. It's all 10 millimeter bolts and those little plastic screws that pop in. So I'll show you where those are. We'll pull this thing apart real quick, and I'll show you right now. I can show you the fan. So that's supposed to be the fan upgrade to the one we have. It's supposed to be a higher velocity, spin a lot faster and everything, and they say it's supposed to cool it down. So I'm gonna try it. I mean, I still might have to go Al's route and do what he did with the delete the location, but I bought this already before he already did his, so you know, I was like, let me just go with it and try something different, see how it works in case someone wants to try something different. So here we go. 10 millimeter Allen, right? 10 millimeter Allen for these.
No, those are 5 millimeter Allens.
Okay, 5 millimeter Allens up here. They're already off, as you can see. We're just going to pop this off. There's two here, right? I'm just going to throw it out the way. Then you have to go into the buggy, right? You guys should know all this anyway if you have one. If not, just pulls off the back here. Those little push-out screws over here, right? Pulls off here. And then there's two more 10 millimeter screws that should be up in the front, little square ones, right?
Yep, those are the two 10s up there.
Yeah, pulls that out the way. Two side covers here, right? The side flares here. There's a 10 millimeter here, and then one on the side with the pop screw, those little plastic pop screws on both sides. As you see, mine's falling off because we already did it. All right, now for here, I forgot how many screws it is, but it's about there's 10 millimeter screws here, right? The one over here that holds this in, right, which is out the way here. And there are one over the side, right? One in the front, which is really a pain. It sits way up in here, but I mean, it's not a pain. Only a pain if you have a bumper, like me. I got a bumper, so it's a pain in the butt. But it's a 10 millimeter screw here, one here, one here. You see the two here, right? And one on each side. And I think there's a push pin, one push pin on the side.
And then the one everyone forgets about, the headlight.
Oh, the headlight ones. Yeah.
One goes right above the headlight, right there.
Yep.
On each side.
It's all 10 millimeter besides the push pins, right? So we're good with that.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to take this off without breaking it right on the camera in front of everybody. Thanks, bud.
There you go.
Alright, so like I said, we already did it, so we did everything here. As you can see here, we did this. It's up to you. You're going to have to pull this off. It's like a little front panel here. To pull this off so you can pull the radiator forward to take out the old fan. Alright? So we already did it. There's a 10 millimeter screw here, and there's one in the back in the corner here. And then on this side, there's one down up in here. We already took them out. But that's what you're going to have to do. And then when you do it, it pulls up this way, pops right out. Okay, now, fan here, when you disconnect the two 10 millimeters here, it's going to pull up a little ways, right? So if you want it to pull up even further, that shroud that's here on the side here, we took that off, which is here. And there'll be a 10 millimeter here, and then there's one down in the corner. That'll pull this the front fan guard, I guess you would call it, radiator guard off, right? We did that, made it easier because there's a bolt down in the side to take off the fan. And then there's another one, this paneling right here, you do that so you can get that corner bolt that's over here. Now, you don't have to do it that way. We actually did it, already took it out without doing that, but the bottom one we found out was like a little bit, it was a pain. So we figured, let's see if we can get this off real easy, and we did. Two bolts here, all right? One here, all 10 millimeter here, right? And then there's two right down here, and then one over there in the corner, and then this pops right off. Take this off. As you see, it twists right out. Just like that. Bolt over there. Okay, so ours is loose again. If you're seeing it wobble all over the place, I'm just showing you. Here, these two bolts, and then it'll pull back. Now we disconnected the hose. As you can see, the hose is here. I slid it up underneath the thing out the way, all right? And then you're going to have your overflow hose here. We disconnected here. Now the bottom would be still connected, and you can't get it. You can reach over here on the side, and let me see, get the flashlight. If you reach down over here, you can get the bottom hose. We already did that. It's just sitting down there. It's off. All right. So right now everything's disconnected. We have it off, and it'll pull up and out of the way. Okay, you can see it's out. Two bolts down here we disconnected already because we weren't going to pull this out, but we did it like this because we wanted to show you how dirty the rad is, and this is why we're getting the overheating.
This is just the front.
Yep, and we're going to pull off this back. You'll watch me take this off. We didn't do it yet. I'll pull this back off, and we're going to see how bad the back is, which this is the reason why we're clogging up all the time. And we don't really go through that much mud, but it's clogging up. It's starting to be a pain. So I'm going to pull those off. 10mm screws. I'm using my little wrench here, my drill. Should be 4. I already did them already. There you go. Look how bad that is. You can't even get that from the inside. Now, if you watched one of our videos before, I think you heard me say, hey, we're not overheating, we're not having any problems, and we weren't. And then I got a flat. And when I got a flat tire, I let the thing run, and one was sitting there changing the flat, and I let it run, and the thing overheated. And I wasn't even going through any mud. Al was the one that was going through the mud. He really wasn't having any problems until he was sitting there for a while, and then his started overheating. So this is why we started to do all this, to see if, you know, yeah, this is definitely a problem. And look at that. And that's with me cleaning it, and you never get that backside, so it's still getting clogged up. So at this point, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to run outside. I'm going to try to get all that hosed off, and we'll come back and we'll put the new fan on. So we're back, guys. Took us a little while there. Okay, this is the old fan. This is the one we're going to be putting in place. Yeah, we matched them up. The new one actually seems to be a little bit smaller, but it's got more fins in it, and it's supposed to be a higher amperage fan spinning and everything, so hopefully it does the job. But check out the radiator. We cleaned this thing out. This thing was pretty dirty. I didn't know, we didn't try looking through it first, but now you can actually see through it. We actually put the hose right to it and just sprayed it, and it was all, man, I don't know how these things work, man.
You can see through it on the
Oh, you can?
Yep. You hold it up to the light. Before you couldn't see through it.
I don't know. Could you when you did it before?
No, you couldn't. I tried.
Yeah. I mean, we sprayed the hose, put it right in the backside, and it was coming out brown. So, yeah, I'm probably going to do what Al has done, the relocate. But for now, I want to get back out there riding and everything. So I want to do this, and this isn't the only reason why it's down, but that's later.
That's like I said before. That's for another video.
Yeah, we'll do another video for that one. All right, so I'm gonna put the fan on, the new one on there. You'll see me bolt it up, and then we're gonna throw it in. See how far we can get on this thing. Right. Now, what we did find out was the bolts that we took out. I wasn't paying attention, but Al came over and showed me that these ones, they have the Phillips head screws in it, so these are the ones that go for the fan. Should be 4 of them. The rest are all 10mm. There's still 10mm screws and everything, but these ones have the Phillips heads in it. The rest of them don't. The other ones won't. I have them over there. I'll show you when I'm putting the rest of the stuff together. So, hopefully this goes in better than taking it out. Just make sure it's tight. Probably still gonna check them by hand anyway. Looking for the wrench. Oh yeah, it's fine. Good.
That's the new torque impact, so we're good.
I don't know.
Automatic torque
I
specs.
mean, you don't need no torque specs on that. I know these guys. I mean, I'm bad with torque specs, but that's not bad. All right, I'm gonna slide it in here now. The only thing you probably don't see. Hold on, I'll put this down a sec. At the bottom of the rad fan, you got to go in those rubber grommets. There's two metal clips that sit over top of it, like that. They sit over the rubber grommets. They fell out. So as you can see, the bottom of the thing. Bottom is like that, right? And you look at the rubber grommets inside there, right? Here and here, these should sit over top, like so. They fell out. I'm gonna put them back in. I mean, I'm gonna put mine back in. It's up to you. All right. Fan down in here. Now I was working the light. See that light look? I'm just trying to get it on the post that are tabs. Fan's supposed to sit in the tabs. Roller mounts. Yeah, there we go. That one's in. Oh, that one's in. I don't know about that other one. Okay. Yeah, that one's not in. Why isn't that one in? Paid much attention to when we pulled it out. We just yanked that sucker out. Thing's giving me trouble now. It might not even go back in now.
Switch to new movie, we forgot about it.
Take it out. Right? I'm just trying to get it into the mounts and brackets. Okay. Don't even tell me that that's not fitting in there. Yeah. That's not fitting like they're saying it's supposed to fit. Oh, come on. I just noticed something. Look at the size of the fan. Fan shroud. And this one's all squared up. You see that? It's not sitting down in the, it's not sitting on the rubber tube. 1 second. Let me try it. Nope. It ain't. So you know what that means, right? That shroud down there, you see it? See my fingers? You see it? It's sitting up against the frame there. You see it down there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to bang it out. I'm going to have to bang that down. It's going to be the only way I can get it to go in. I'm going to have to flatten that out. It's aluminum. Hopefully I can do it without breaking anything, right? I'm going to do it. I got no choice. Alright guys, look, you saw me struggling with it. Al had to help me at the same time. All we did was we got this grommet in over here and we pushed down on that and it kept popping out, but those rings that we had on the bottom of the thing kept pushing it up. So as he pushed it down, I got it in the adjustment where it was supposed to be and he pushed right down and it lined up. So I didn't have to bend or do anything. So we got the two screws in here. It's in the post mounts at the bottom. Right now, I'm gonna, actually I should have hooked the fan up first, remember? So maybe we take these back out. so I can get my hand in there to hook the fan up. So we'll take these back off. That was my bad. I forgot to hook the fan up. We'll hook the fan up, and then we'll go from here. We'll keep going. Just give me the gun.
It's already set on reverse.
Hopefully I don't knock the thing back out again. So we're just gonna slide that bad boy forward.
It's still in, so.
Yeah, I just want to reach down in there and get my hand in. Now I bought this fan. The plug had the plug was cracked, so I glued the plug to put it back together. So I'm hoping it's gonna work, and then we're gonna zip tie it to hold the plug together. But I'm praying that. And I got it on. I did a trial run before, and I got it on. I don't know if I can get it on now. It's a pain. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Alright, so I'll get in there with the light camera. You see that mine's broken right here. Okay, I had to put this whole thing and glue it back together. I called the company and told them, so I'm just going to zip tie it from here to here, see if it stays, and then we'll wrap it with some tape, make sure it doesn't move. For now, I don't know. I called them. I emailed them to see what was up with that. Hopefully they helped me out.
Oh yeah, that's in there.
It's in there good. But I'm just going to put a zip tie from here to there. So here, that zip tie out of there.
I usually do that on most of my electrical connections, just because over time they'd wear out. So
yeah, it pulled right out. So I'm gonna put this behind the back first.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a sleeve over it.
Yeah, there's a heat shrink too.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, got that around. Just turning it, and it came out, of course, because it doesn't have the locking tab. Even though I glued it together, the locking tab wasn't there, so that's why we're doing the
Shield zip tie.
yeah.
Now this was a struggle I went through when I did my Radiator relocation. That's the amount of room I had to cut, splice, and solder the plug.
The plug, yeah, it's
to my wire.
Yes, because it's actually connected to another harness that's in there, and I mean you're not getting that off unless you pull the whole thing apart.
I soldered, heat shrunk, and everything in that space. It was a pain.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we got the zip tie on. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, that's pretty good. All right over the connection. See, it's all up in there. That's because our tabs broke, so we're good to that. I'll cut that, but I'm not worried about it right now. I'll put the two, can I still get the bottom? Yeah, I can still do the bottom hose, so I'll connect this up right now.
Didn't move.
Remember, these are the ones with the, yeah, these are all 10 millimeters.
Yeah, those
Phillip heads are on the back. Alright, now I'm going to connect the bottom radiator, come on man, radiator hose. Hose is on. Now I'm going to put the clamp on it.
As you can see, Yamaha gave you plenty of space.
They don't want you in here. Takes money from the guys, man. Let's see.
I know it's a pain, but for the people who don't want to,
spend the money
and do, relocation, and you do a lot of East Coast or mud riding, recommend definitely recommend pulling the radiator out and hosing it out. It's
Yeah, I can't see. We don't do that much mud rising. And after I just pulled this radiator apart here and looked at that with him, I can't see any other way besides going with the other way in the back,
yeah.
because the little bit of mud riding we did, this thing was blocking up, and it don't make sense. And mine was only overheating from sitting still. Wasn't doing it from riding. Once I was riding, I was hitting puddles and stuff to clear it out, and it was working fine. But whenever I sat still for a long period of time,
as you can see, mud gets everywhere.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
That one goes there.
All right, now this hose, can we get it up on? Yeah, I can get it over. No, I might have waited. Should have waited for this one too. Back out again. Just so I can lean it forward to put the hose on.
So yeah, this is why we're doing it in real time, so people could see what, kind of see what, you know, what to do and what not to do, or.
Yeah, man, I'm no what name. I'm a tech by trade, but I don't do this every day. So you know, this thing, I get it. Not worried about it. There we go. See, that would have been easier than fighting with it the other way.
Right force.
Yeah. I'm just using this to do my hose clamp. I know, vice grips, right? Well, I have the right tool in there, but I'm not using it. There we go. All the way on. I don't think I'll have to take this off again.
No. Lower's on, upper's on.
Oh, the
overflow's on, the bushing came out.
Yeah, bushing.
Yeah, don't lose those bushings. Otherwise you'll have to play in your radiator.
Yep.
There's little bushings inside there.
Which mine just fell out. Drill. Alright guys. So from here on, oh, let's see why they put that down there. So it hits the cap. It was hitting the cap.
Yeah.
From here on, guys, it's just putting everything back in. We got a little bit of time left on here, so I'll keep going. See how far we get. That's when we put on after we put the thing on, right?
Yeah, all of them, all those go on after.
Right. So I guess we'll put the side cover on. Oh, I should put that in before the fan. Side cover is that piece that goes over the fan trap here. It's a little bit easier to get it in with the fan moved out of the way, so I'm going to be forcing it in here now. Just didn't go too bad, see? It's not right here. Yep, there it is. It's in. There.
I'll grab you some screws.
Yep.
I'll just give you the box and
That's far. Go through
let
it.
you pick.
Which one's?
The only one that, the step one was the one that went down there.
And that was the one off the corner, right?
Yeah.
This one.
That's the only different one.
That's the step one. The rest of them are all the same. All 10s. Okay. This is the whole thing. This is the only one that goes down in the bottom right. It's the only one we pulled out of here anyway.
That's basically for the skid plate. The skid plate that goes under the front diff. That's where that one goes into.
This is here, right? That's it, man. It looks fine. It's going in there, too.
Yeah.
Fucking going. Let's keep a quick little. I didn't hit it all the way. Not sure I get them all started. That's the way I like to do it anyway. The way I keep taking things apart 6 or 7 times. Okay. Those have those clips that go over the plastic. You know, with the threads through, so you don't push them through. So I don't want to. Just you see me lining up. I'm just trying to line the holes up here. I'm pretty sure they were all the black ones through here, except for those.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the same size, guys. Like I said, the radiator was the one that I was really worried about because I didn't want it to go past its thing, but everything else seems to be. Okay, that one started. Good. 2 right here. And 1 more right here. Oops. Here. It's on the plastic. Here we go, guys. That's in. Now we're gonna put the fan shroud cover. I guess this is the one that we were talking about buying too, because I guess they say there's another shroud that goes over here, stops the thing from getting so much dirty. I didn't have it. I don't have it, but I have been talking to Joe and Al about getting it, thinking of covering up my fan, since, like I said, we're doing something different. This is the normal one that goes in there.
It's actually an addition to that one.
Okay.
It's an addition to it.
Goes over top of it?
It bolts to
here. And
factory holes, factory locations. That is another option. And then a lot of people run a filter. Like a central air system.
Oh yeah, leave it over top. You know what? That's something to think about. But like I said, man, after seeing this, the next time you might see me do Al's, the way Al route. I'm probably gonna go that route. All right, we're all in now. Okay, bolt here. I mean, screw here, 10 milli right here, and 1 down at the bottom. 1 at the bottom I couldn't get. I had to do. I mean, I got it. Just gonna have to use a ratchet to do it. So this one on the side here. This is the clips that I was talking about. You see them right here. You guys know about them. They slip on. So if that moves out of position, that's why it don't line up and everything. So it's throughout the whole machine. In the bottom. Way over here. That one, I'm gonna actually use my ratchet. This one, ratchet over there. My garage is a mess, guys. So what you see is what you get.
It's a bunch of projects.
Bunch of toys. Bunch of toys. I had that Milwaukee right now.
Yes.
I think that's probably gonna get nice.
Good thing to have.
Job so much, man. Them things was good.
Yeah, it's spoiled. Yeah, he went this route because he's got a cargo box. He didn't want to get rid of it.
No, I love my cargo box.
But
we'll
see.
Still, if I overheat, it's probably not even after doing this. It isn't that bad to do. So I don't care. I'll yank it right out of here. We were actually what we were gonna do. I wasn't gonna go his route and do his radiator. I was gonna put this one in the back, but I don't know now. After seeing it and we washed it and cleaned it out, I think Al told you for his setup, man. $800, $1,000 is for the relocate, and he did his for like 2. So I might go that route. We'll see. Okay, that's on. Shroud's on. Now we can put the front nose on. I think I got this. Yeah, she's still dirty, guys. From us riding from the last time. Let me reach in and get that.
Oh yeah, you gotta move that rectifier.
That, right?
Not really much help here with one hand.
Sorry, you good over there?
Yeah.
We're good.
Kind of hard. Easier way would have been to take the cage off, but
yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna have their different ways. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong the way you want to do it. This is the way we chose to do it. I chose to do it. I don't know if Al went and did his different.
yeah, I didn't remove all this.
Oh, this one. Did this one just lay down?
Yes.
Oh, that goes there. And then we have the hose there here. They just sat in here.
This black hose
that's the one
is for the overflow. If comes up
through that hole. Yep.
through that hole, through there, and then it's just kind of routed underneath.
Oh, it just drops
Yeah,
straight down?
it just drops straight down, and that's why you saw Joe's when he was overheating last weekend.
That's where his was coming out at?
It was leaking out of this hose here,
I'll
and it
grab
just
it.
leaks on the bottom. That's all.
Okay, so when you get over there, I'll grab it and I'll. You got it? No, I'll reach in there. There you go.
I don't know where it's going. Oh, there we go.
That's good, right? Drop right down to the side.
There, so it doesn't flop around. So it's kind of sorry for the close shot there.
Sorry, guys. Like I said,
All those are just the vent tubes.
it's a lot easier to do it with the two guys, but we don't have no head cam or nothing. And thought about having Joe come over and take the picture. Do the, huh?
Yeah, that would have.
That probably would have helped. Sorry, Joe. Next time.
Yeah, and those are all just vent tubes.
I'm just bending them and pushing them back the way they were. I mean, guys, you don't even have to do this, but I'm anal about this shit, so I want it back the way it was. Alright, that's in there. Over. Something look different? What's up?
No, you're good.
Alright. We're in with those. Is there any more? 1, 2, 3. Alright. Hose hooked up there. Everything's hooked up there. Alright, I'm leaving that off, but I'm going to mount everything right now. Put all the bolts in, put the clips in for that. We'll mount this. I'm going to put this one in. I wasn't going to, but like I said, I'm anal. I put everything back.
That one's a little bit of a pain when you have the Super ATV bumper.
Yeah. This thing really, if I just name it and move it back, I won't have a problem. But I'm
Yeah,
not,
take the top bolt out, fold it down. That's the easiest way to do it.
Remember what I said? They're all 10s. These are the square ones. Here. How we doing on time? We good with the time? Still good?
Mm-hmm.
Just getting screws, guys. I got mine put in a little box so I can remember where they were. I started pulling stuff apart. Oh, one in the front, 2 here. I'm gonna do the side one. You're on the thing. You got the camera, bro. You do it.
This is side gets mounted right there.
So it's cold over here. We got snow here. Last time we rode, we didn't have no snow here. So that's why mine's all muddy, and I never washed it off because I didn't want it to freeze up. So that's why it's looking like this. Mine's usually always clean. Three, right? 1, 2, 3.
One there.
Chromie? Oh, I think I got a chromie for that. I think so. I'm gonna put chromie here. Okay. Side here. Yep, I put 2 in the front.
Those are push pins.
Are they pushed?
Yep.
Push pins there, push pin there. Oh, it's just the one.
Yep, just the one. 110 there. And those flathead push pins go here and there.
Then I have one over there, right? One's on the side pin. This one's gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah. I'm gonna do it, Al. I know. Maybe I'm not gonna do it. Wow.
No, that's a pain. Unless you want to take the bumper off.
I will not take the bumper off.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd I do? swivel and stuff, huh? This way. Sitting right up there behind you. Right? Swivel. 10. So I got it. Oh my God. No, Al, I just dropped it.
I said we come back to that one at a later date.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it
Finish
now.
buttoning it up and.
Sounds good. All right. So push pins, right?
Yep, 2 push pins here.
Here. One here. I know we're supposed to have one on the corner, but I think
That goes on after the side fairings.
after the side fairings. So I can put them on
Yeah, yep.
there, right? Oh shit! Al. I just forgot. Back off. Back off. So, look guys, as you can see, we named this. I forgot to put this on. I'm going to take it back off. You don't need to watch this again. I'm going to take it back off, put this shroud on, and then put that. We should come back and you'll have this back on. Alright guys, as you can see, I didn't want you to go through that as we fold it apart and put it back together again. So I just forgot the black shroud that goes from here to here that's underneath. You can see the piece that was sticking up. I forgot it. Only reason I knew, I looked in the back, in the inside, and it was sitting there. So we went through the whole thing. We didn't have to pull it all off. We just loosened the bolts up and picked this up and did it. I put the front bolt on here. Everything's all tightened down. I'm going to put coolant in it now, and then we'll put the top shroud on. Coolant.
Now, these don't require any special coolant. You can do 50-50 mix, or the pure concentrate where it's add water.
I had that argument with somebody because they were like, you can't use it. I'm like, you can. It just takes a long time to heat up when you use the straight without water in it. So water takes a while, you know, this is boiling point, so it heats up quicker. I think this is a mix anyway. You know what I was thinking about doing?
What's that?
Just putting Beamer stuff in here. BMW's got a 500-mile coolant thing, and it's supposed to keep the temp down. And I put it in my bike.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's for BMW.
Yeah.
I put it in my bike. It's you don't have to mix. It's straight pouring. It's 500,000-mile coolant system. It's like pink and stuff, but you can't mix it. Thinking about putting it in here. We just gotta flush the system. They told me, everybody was telling me I couldn't put it in anything. I put it in everything. I put it in my bike.
Hey.
It's the only thing is, it's $35 to $40 a gallon.
That's what you get when you play with BMWs.
Yeah. Stuff works pretty good though. And I only have one sitting up there right now, so it's not going in here now. Get some more coolant. This one's already mixed. 2.
Right there?
Yeah, yeah. You know, if you did it, it'd been all over the place. Shakes.
Yeah.
I'm still getting it all over the place.
I'll hold the funnel.
I thought you said it didn't take that much.
Oh, there you go. It's overflowing. That's why. There you go.
It didn't take that much.
Nah, it just seemed like a lot.
No, it took a half. Because that one had some in it. It had to take about a half. Alright. So.
Now the next step from here would be to bleed the system. But I mean, you're going to be sitting for a while.
I got the thing still Mustang. The only thing I took it. I mean, I'm gonna start it up. I'll start it up,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
They do have. It does have a bleeder valve on the thermostat housing.
Does it really?
Yes, that's where I put my Razorback gauge.
All right, but right, we didn't drain the system. We just drained the radiator.
Still got air in the system.
Think so?
Radiator had air in it. Open system. I mean, we don't have to show that right now. We'll just so you know.
I'll start it up and see what happens.
Yeah, you start it up, let it idle. You got to let it get to temp.
You gotta check the fan anyway.
Yeah, you got to make sure the fan kicks on. Then you come back here. There actually is. Oh man. You want to pass me the light? Show them where the there is a bleeder valve on the thermostat housing. It's kind of a pain.
Talking about
Where's it? Right
here.
Right here. People.
Oh, right up there.
You crack that. You crack that nut loose. Oh, my hand's in the way.
Yeah, right there.
You crack that nut loose, and that's where you bleed the system from. But if
That's
you have
also where they're putting the sensor.
Yeah, that's where I put my Razorback gauge.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with it. I don't even think it's gonna be airbound, but I'll start it up.
Another option, if you don't want to use that, jack the front of the machine up, let it idle, air rises. When it starts circulating, that's how I bled my system. I didn't have to jack it up though because it was already at the highest point.
And we're missing a screw, a black. What's the name? There's one missing.
There's one missing?
Yeah. That's not good, man. I gotta find this stuff. There's two, so I'm missing that. I'm missing two. So there's gotta be somewhere here.
Yeah, it's in here. We'll find it.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. That's gonna be done for now. So like I told you before, that's my version of it. I'm gonna start it up, see how it goes. Stay tuned. I'm sure if I have any problems with it or anything, I'll let you guys know. Like I said, I'm still probably gonna do the way Al did his, but for right now, that's where we're gonna go with it. Joe's having problems with his, so now he can make up his mind depending on how good mine works with this new fan, this radiator fan. If he wants to go that route, or if he's gonna fully take the thing out and do what Al did. He's not sure yet, but he's overheating a lot right now. So that's it for now. I'm gonna start it up. You guys don't need to see that. You know how they sound and all that. So start it up. Make sure that's all in it. And till next time, Buggy BroZ. I'm Keith. See you next time.